Guys, this is Coach Ben, and you are listening to the BenchCast. And we're here with our guest, Shawnee Fagan. And first let's get a little bit of background on you, Shawnee. When did we meet, like 3 years ago or something? Had to be at least 3 years ago.
Yes, at least 3.
And we started training together. I actually came back to the gym. I was away at school, came back, whole new crew, all new faces. You were one of them. I think that's how we met. You, Big Poppy was around then. Volkswagen, all people we know. And you were a lightweight guy. You were one of the 165, I think, at the time. You were competing at 165.
Yeah. I'm even lighter now, because...
What, 148?
Yeah, I'm a little guy.
I've been dipping a little myself.
I went from wearing a large t-shirt to wearing a schmedium now,
So you went from little large to little medium. Right?
Yeah, I'm just a little guy now completely. So I have to accept the fact that I can almost buy clothes at Kids R Us. So...
How long you been competing?
You
started around that time, right?
Yeah, I started around that time. I was at a regular commercial gym and, doing deadlifts and trying to do deadlifts, trying to squat and trying to bench, because those are my favorite, favorite 3 lifts. And then going heavy all the time. People are like, well, why don't you just compete?
Get into powerlifting?
Yeah, get into powerlifting. So why the hell
natural progression?
Yeah, why are you trashing your body and not competing? You know what I mean?
Get something out of it.
Yeah.
Did you play any sports?
Yeah, I wrestled. I played a lot of sports growing up, and then at some point in middle school, I stopped doing everything, and I just continued wrestling. So I wrestled from 8 years old to 18, and then I went straight to work into the union after high school, so I didn't have any college wrestling or anything like that. But I wrestled pretty much all year round.
And how old are you now?
34, I think.
34?
Yeah, 34.
So
34.
what, you had a period about 18 to, did you pick it up again, 30?
From 18 to, I didn't really ever weight train with high school or anything like that. It was just everything that you would do in wrestling, basically all body weight stuff, because you're competing push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And after high school, I really didn't have anything to do, because I was preoccupied with going out and partying and making money at work. And then I got into jiu-jitsu and MMA and stuff like that.
Something I'd like to do.
Because the jiu-jitsu, if you're a wrestler, jiu-jitsu transfers over a lot, but you have to learn to wait for it. Because in wrestling, it's all go, go, and jiu-jitsu, it's wait for it, and then go.
Yeah. Wait for a dude to make a move.
Yeah, it's just like chess.
Work off that.
Yeah, it's like chess. But I don't know. I just
had a little break.
Started going. Yeah,
like fitness or something.
Yeah, when I stopped, I stopped liking getting punched in the face. So once I realized getting punched in the face wasn't for me anymore, I started weightlifting just to try to stay in shape, and it just progressed. You know what I mean? It's kind of
became a real accomplished 165 lifter. You you broke top 10, right?
Yeah, I broke top 10 in wraps.
Broke top 10 in the national rankings.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive itself. Top 10 lifter 165. Did you ever compete 181?
No, but I definitely could have, because
you walked around like 200.
Yeah.
I hit crazy weight cuts.
Yeah, I hit 194. The biggest weight cut I did was 194 down to 165, and it was a learning experience, because I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
That's a big ass cut.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Those big ass weight cuts. We actually did a meet together. We were both cutting weight for that. But
that was that.
Yeah,
meet.
that was that. Yeah, I definitely want to touch on that, because you were shrunken in. That was a rough weight cut for both of us, that meet. But you compete at the Arnie twice in the XPC finals.
Yeah, twice.
And your top 10. That's a real impressive accomplishment. Not many people get to that level. What was your best lift? I mean, you're pretty well rounded, I'd say.
I hit
pretty well versed in each one.
at 165, I had a 575 deadlift, a 355 bench, and I think a 520 or a 525 squat. I can't
That's pretty
can't
well
really
rounded.
remember.
There's not like anything that jumps out like this is your lift. I think you're pretty good at all. I mean, I know you like deadlifting. You had that. What do we have? Tacos and deadlifts going on?
Yeah,
or something?
burritos. Yeah, I think
Taco Tuesdays.
somebody fed me a taco while I was actually deadlifting at one point. You know,
I
we
think
just
that might be-
having fun.
That's the video we should have.
That's living the best life.
You you know, there's a clip you did. We gotta put this clip in. It's gotta go in. You did the Mark Belt contest.
Yeah.
What was that contest about?
It was using the slingshot and how you use it, and you would win a pair of like free elbow sleeves or knee sleeves or something like that. But I
and you rocked the.
I rocked a mankini. Yeah. A giraffe print mankini.
Shawnee just casually benching one day with his balls swinging around.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's all on video.
It gets good when you see me arch a little bit. It was only 135, I think, was on the bar.
So I filmed that. that day, and you said you wanted to do this contest, and you had the whole thing in your head already, and then so I filmed your top up, so you can only see from like your chest up, just your face.
Yeah.
You're talking about the slingshot, how you like using that in training. And then you're going to talk about how you're going to use it, and then you jump on the bench, and then I start coming down with the camera, and then you just see he's more naked.
Yeah,
and he's like full naked.
I
the
ordered.
balls just dangling in his little mankini.
I ordered the wrong singlet, is what I said.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's like, I think I ordered the wrong one, and then we kind of zoomed in on him. Yeah, that's how it went. But that was great. Did you win anything?
Yeah, I got a free pair of the strong elbow sleeves. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Had to win something with that.
Yeah.
We got to get that clip. Someone get that clip. Put that clip in. There's your minute. There's your minute preview of this podcast. Yeah, that was awesome. You had the Taco Tuesday thing going on. You were like a real avid, like Mexican eatery type dude.
Yeah.
El Paso's right
El
near your
Paso
place.
is down the block from my house, and they have a breakfast burrito that is pretty much. You can't compare it to anywhere else where I've ever been. But, yeah, that and their pork, everything there is good.
Yeah. I was lifting with you one morning. I'll go grab you. We hit El Paso. First time trying that breakfast burrito. I remember eating that sucker, and then I was like, I don't know how the hell he lifts after eating these burritos, because like I was in the bathroom. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I got to lifting, but I was in the bathroom. I don't know how you did it. You did it like every time. That was like your fuel.
I had a different appetite when I was at 165.
You
would
ate
just eat
everything.
I ate anything and did whatever I want with my diet, and didn't really
It was crazy.
didn't really care about what I was putting in my body.
Just had the iron gut.
Yeah, exactly. I could put anything in there and it wouldn't have caused me any problems. And then like even I'd walk over to White Castle sometimes and then come back with White Castles.
Oh yeah, that's when I first saw White Castle.
We had a pre-deadlift White Castle party. We bought a Crave case, and that was the worst deadlift session I've ever had in my life.
It's not really for everybody.
No, definitely not for anyone.
I couldn't eat like that now though. I cleaned up my diet because it just too much weight. You know, I'm only 5'5", so when you have 190 pounds or even above 180, I just felt I couldn't move. My mobility was terrible.
Oh yeah, no, I remember some stretching sessions that we did, and you were definitely in my top 5 tightest dudes.
Yeah.
Not to make that weird.
Money
Not that
money
everyone
talks.
has a top,
Money
yeah,
talks.
not everyone
So
has
we
a
could
top
discuss
5
that
tightest
later.
dudes. Yeah, you were pretty immobile, and I want to tell a story again. Usually, every BenchCast somehow comes up, or I bring it up in conversation with someone, but. You came over to me once. I was benching, and then you were like, "Hey, can I get a spot?" So I'm thinking you're around the corner. So I'm like, "All right, he's probably asking because he's squatting or whatever." And I go around, and then you have the bar set up ready to overhead, and I'm like, "What the hell does he mean spot?" I'm like, "How do I spot an overhead?" And then you take the bar out, and then you turned it into a bench press in the air. Like you just contorted your body.
That's my move. The
Your belly
vertical
was
bench
in the
press.
air. Yeah, your belly was in the air, and you were like ready to fall over. I was like, I think we're good here. You should put it down.
Yeah,
that was the only time you overheaded, really.
Yeah, no, that's probably the last time I overheaded because my mobility was so terrible that I couldn't even get the bar above my head. It was basically lean back, kind of like this, and hopefully I didn't fall over backwards and die.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gave up on that. That's not really. I didn't see that in my future. So, yeah.
I remember actually meeting you way back when, like 7-8 years ago.
That's probably not a good.
No.
That's probably not good.
That long ago?
Yeah.
I didn't even know him then.
It was in a gym. I remember him. But he was deadlifting, and I asked him like how he got his deadlift up. He's like, I don't know. I just come to the gym and lift.
That's probably
You just didn't have any programming or anything.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
I had no idea about what goes on with programming or central nervous system or warming up.
Nothing. Like
You
every
just
time
lifted.
I just saw
I
you
just
in
started
the gym.
throwing plates on, and
Yep.
that's it. And it was just I was trying to max out. I was maxing out all the time because when you're, I guess, ego lifting.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You know, you got to do
We
something.
all started off that way.
Yeah, you got to satisfy your ego.
I never
And
saw you under 4 plates on a deadlift at the gym. Like ever.
That's right.
Yeah.
I throw 4 plates on a fucking start. Here we go. But yeah, no, like once I got educated about powerlifting and do some reading and just seeing what other people are doing, and the fact that I'm older now, it's you got to take care of your body. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, the longevity's huge.
yeah, if you want to continue competing in the sport or even just doing everyday things, you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks when you're get up out of a chair or get up off the couch or get out of bed
And you got the old man
and you're going,
noses.
oh fuck. You know, it's not going to be good in another 10 years. Everything's just going to get worse.
Yeah, it's not going to get
But
better.
there's so much information on the internet, and availability, and I guess the strength sports are a lot more common now when it comes to physical therapy, and with people going to chiropractor, especially with CrossFit. I think the physical therapy industry is.
There's always one in a CrossFit. I always see PTs and CrossFits.
Yeah. So
It's like a connection.
it's very. There's a lot of information out there.
Yeah.
You know
Is
what I
that
mean?
how you would you say that was your main source of information? You did a lot of online research, kind of learned a lot. What was your biggest, so when you started getting like structured programming and stuff, what are like some of your biggest takeaways and things you learned that you have to do different? And like, where did you get a lot of information from too?
The information I got was from this might sound stupid, but it's from other lifters. But it's not somebody from. It's not. It's not from a commercial gym lifter. And I'm not saying that commercial gym lifters are retarded. But there's a lot of I was a retard in the commercial gym. There's a lot of bro science, and there's a lot of, like I said, ego. So everyone thinks they know is what they know is best.
So
and
you
that's
just learned from other lifters, asking them all the time, meets stuff. like that?
that. I've gone to a few seminars for technique with I can't remember his name right now.
I don't know. We had a lot. Stan Efferding has come to our gym.
I've never met Stan.
There was a lot. I mean, Vinny DiZenzo came down.
From Vinny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I learned some bench cues from him, and one little thing could take your lift another pound.
Oh yeah, that's
you know what I
the
mean?
thing. One little thing.
And it's just the accumulation of everything over the years. It's very hard to pinpoint the information.
So you just learned from a lot of different sources. It wasn't like one main thing. You just learned from a lot of lifters, seminars, reading.
Yeah, and then you also learn what not to do. And the stuff I was doing before I actually had programming was not.
You pretty much figured out what you don't do first.
Yeah,
and
I've
then
done that. I've done that a lot in my life. I figure out. I know what not to do anymore. So.
Now you're optimizing what you should do.
Yes. So, and one thing that I've been doing more of that I need to continue to do is mobility work, because my body just gets trashed sometimes. You know what I mean? You're putting all this amount of weight and physical stress on your body, plus along with work.
Yeah, and I wanted to delve into that with you. Like, what do you do for work? Because I know you got a hectic schedule right now, doing a lot.
I'm a local one union elevator constructor. So I've been doing that since I got out of high school, since I was 18. So that's about 16 years I've been doing it. And it's stressful and mentally and physical, and there's different aspects of it. There's construction, maintenance, repair, modernization, and just about this past year, I was in construction again, and I was working 12-hour days with a 2-hour commute, and then still training at night.
Yeah, I remember it was wild.
Yeah. So, and it beats the crap out of you because you're swinging lump hammers all day. You're dragging elevator rails, or mainly the helpers do that, but it's stressful. And you basically get home, you have like no time to train, and you have to get in bed because sleep is optimal. If you're running on 4.5 hours of sleep with that type of work, and then training, you're not getting the full amount
You're never
benefits.
recovering.
Yeah, exactly. So it beats the crap out of you.
Now, we had King Leo on. He was talking about having a manual labor job and lifting too. Now, you think that helps you as well because you're also physical, or do you think it actually takes away? Because you're doing a lot of hours. So what do you take on that?
I think there's a lot of variables when it comes to that.
Like what
I
you're
think it
doing
helps you with your, even though I did have hand surgery because I couldn't feel, I had carpal tunnel in my left hand, and I still have it in my right, but it doesn't bother me right. Whatever ailment you might have in your labor industry,
Yeah.
and then you lift, it's going to get magnified if you don't take care of it.
That's a good way to look at it.
But there's always preventative maintenance on your body. So if you can find the time, or you have to make time for it, to see the doctors. You have a job, you have benefits. There's no point in not seeing a doctor. You know what I mean? To get a checkup, and you're gonna know your own body. So when I started dropping nuts and bolts out of my hand, that are an inch and an eighth big, that's a big nut. You shouldn't be just dropping it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I was getting shooting pains in my hands, and I said, it's time to go.
Yeah, that's so good.
With physical labor, your grip strength is going to be. You shouldn't have. For me, I shouldn't have to do any grip strengthening exercises at all. Period, because of my job.
Yeah.
If you're holding on to a hammer all day and you're wrenching or using impact guns or picking up heavy material, your hands are getting stronger and stronger. But they also get abused because I was waking up and my hands were crunched in like this, basically like crippled, having to run water over them in the morning to get them to move, every morning. And then that's kind of like a telltale sign you need to go see a doctor.
Yeah.
So
do you think you would have been better off not having had a job like that, or do you think you were good because of you having a job like that?
I love my job. You know what I mean? And some days are good or bad. It makes me feel mentally good when I build something and put something together. You feel accomplished.
Yeah.
But
in terms of lifting and having a manual labor job, do you think for a lifter it would be beneficial not to or to have? Or does it really depend?
If you're on your feet all day moving around, I think it's more beneficial than sitting down at a desk.
That's for sure. I agree with that one. Sitting down is the worst thing.
But you have to have a certain mentality to be able to do construction and
lift
and power lift, because you're on a construction site. You're dealing with a lot of different people all the time, and if you're a mechanic, you have to deal with helpers, and you have to. If you're on a construction site and you have apprentices there, or helpers, whatever you want to call them, they don't always make your life easier. So, sometimes you might fly off the handle and have to deal with that and whatever problems happen.
Yeah.
But it's just like any other job. You have a coworker that sucks.
Yeah.
And you have to
You have to make up for their lack.
And you have to work with the guy. So
I'm looking at him.
I would think that it helped me because in construction you're picking up raw, you're picking up shit raw sometimes.
Yeah.
You have to go do this, go move this, go that, and you're just like, okay, that's what I have to do. That's what I'm getting paid for, and you're forcing your body to do it. On the other end of that, me personally, my central nervous system was like shot when I got home, and then trying to ramp it back up again,
that'd be tough.
You know, I felt like I wanted to die sometimes, just because I was just so fatigued, and you're just like,
can't move. You don't want to live.
But having the mindset of just keep moving forward, and then if you're thinking logically, you're going to know when to cut it off and just not force it. Because I started training in my parents' garage. 'Cause I don't have a garage. My father and my mother is not going to be able to pick this barbell off my chest or pick it up off me if it crushes me into the ground. Kind of had that happen once, once or twice. I'm not going to be that guy screaming on a video, "Ma, help me!" I'd probably rather just die.
It'd be a good video though. Yeah. I know a lot of dudes that come from construction. It seems like most powerlifters do come from some type of manual labor background, and it does take some kind of special willpower, because you're just exhausted. And just getting yourself to go to the gym, do something as intense as putting all that weight on your back and just crushing yourself again takes a special kind of drive and willpower.
You can tell there's just like a different mindset when like someone who has a manual labor job goes to a max effort lift versus like someone who's like been sitting down all day. It's like there's an intensity there. It's like not there when someone just sits down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone has a different mindset and what they're trying to accomplish, and I feel competing with yourself is the best way to look at powerlifting. I know other guys that they're elite of elite lifters, and I don't see them being dicks to other lifters that are around the same category. You know what I mean? It's like powerlifting is it's a very competitive sport, but for me, I compete against my own numbers. Yes, would I like to be number one day? Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But it's going to take time. The shit's not going to happen. It's not going to happen overnight. You know what I mean? And a lot of the elite lifters now, they've been doing this for years and years.
Yeah, we're talking like 20 plus in some cases.
Yeah. So 20 plus. I was 14. When I was 14, I wasn't thinking about lifting weights or anything. I was not going to say what I was thinking about. But yeah.
And I could tell you're someone who really loves the sport. I mean, you reach out to a lot of people, and you seem to, always enjoy being at a meet. And your now wife, she's a high-level competitive lifter as well.
Yeah. So I looked at the PT. Was talking to me, asked me how many meets I did, because I've been seeing a PT lately because my back is just jacked up because it just is. And he's like, "How many meets of it?" And I'm like, I don't really know. I think maybe 9 or 10, maybe more.
You lose track after.
I don't know. I'm not worried about the meets I did in the past. I'm worried about the next one coming up. We should get to that also, about the last meet I just did. So I looked up how many comps my wife's done, and she's done 40 comps. 40.
Wow. Did she know that?
No. No.
That's a lot.
I looked it up.
How long she been competing? And how'd you guys meet? What, is there like a secret lifting Tinder out there or something online?
No.
Because she's super high level. You're a real high level competitor.
I have to try to compare myself to her. Like I'm like in.
She could kick your ass probably. Didn't you do a Wilkes versus Wilkes time?
Her Wilkes is higher than mine. Yep, her Wilkes is higher at a lower weight class. We met through her cousin on Facebook. You know what I mean?
A mutual connection thing.
It was some post about something. I commented on something, and then her cousin said, this is my cousin that powerlifts. And that's right around the time when I was thinking about getting involved into it, and then we became friends on Facebook. And as time went by, one day we just started talking. You know what I mean? And
that's how it goes.
Here I am, married, and
that was
still in the shadow of my wife's
last year, right?
In the shadow of my wife's lifting career.
Yeah. Maybe you'll break free eventually.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna let that happen. That's gonna be over my head for my rest of my life.
How long has she been lifting for then? If she did 40 meets?
she competes often. She
does do a lot of meets.
She's just she's a savage like that. I don't know. I can't.
I've met her a few times, and her training seems really intense. She'll do like all 3 lifts in a session.
Yeah,
and that's like regular.
Well, I now have the same coach as my wife. So, when he first programmed me, because I explained to him my lifting, what I've been doing and stuff like that. He first programmed me, and I'm like, screenshotted the program to my wife. I'm like, he's trying to kill me. Like, I'm gonna die. What
was it? It was like a lot of frequency. Like what threw you off?
The amount of volume, the amount of squat, bench, then your deadlifting, and then squat, bench.
Can you give us like a typical rundown of what you do and what she would do, like what you would do in a session?
Her program is Her program is more advanced than mine. I guess the more experienced you are, the
volume got to keep going up.
The volume got to keep going up, but you're not going to be getting. If you're a 10-year athlete, and you're not going to see a 30-something pound PR from a program.
You're lucky to get
earlier,
5 if that.
Earlier. So you're trying to get just very small PRs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? When
sometimes you don't even PR. 'Cause it's not going to happen every meet.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen every meet. And when you're a beginner or novice lifter, you're going to see big PRs, especially because you're finally getting programmed properly, and your numbers are just going to start shooting up, and then you're going to hit a dead. You'll hit a dead spot, just because of your body and life in general. Your body's not going to want to constantly keep growing. Your body's going to want to stay in like a homeostasis and preserve itself for longevity. But you can't really sit around and do nothing to preserve yourself.
It only gets more difficult.
Yeah. And then So what were we talking about?
A lot of frequency.
Who are you guys? Where am I?
So,
is the camera on?
Yeah. Hello?
So we just talk about like if you could run down kind of what the programming looks like now that you're doing. Obviously hers is a little bit different, but you're doing a lot of frequency. I imagine. How much a week do you squat, bench, deadlift?
So I'll pull it up right now.
We'll do like times weekly.
Okay, so right now I just started week 2, and I went and did a meet in Maryland. For shits and giggles, and I kind of rushed into it, and I just wanted to break, I wanted to break my bench, and I wound up bombing out of the meet. You know what I mean?
On bench or what?
Yeah, well, I hit my opener squat, then I failed my second attempt squat, and then I passed on the third, and then I went to bench. I couldn't get the bench command when I unracked it. So I had to re-rack and then unracked it again.
Why couldn't you get it?
The ref said that I was shaking.
You weren't locked out or controlled?
I was shaking, so I guess it wasn't controlled. And then I took it out again, and then had to re-rack it, and they just felt it wasn't unsafe for me to do.
Okay.
They felt it was unsafe for me to do it. So I said okay, and then the next bencher said screw it. So I'll break the record by a chip, and it was 145.5, and since it's a national record for USPA RAPS division, they had to bring in a national ref to change as the head judge. So that ref gave me the bench command, came up, and I just died out after it came off my chest, and then same weight next one, and then I just completely died and shit the bed. So I missed all my benches.
I understand the logic that went into it, though. I mean, you went there to hit your bench thing, and
it is what it is. And I just, I walked away from it saying, oh well, I gave it my best. It is what it is, and that's it. And the meet prior to that, I went 9 for 9, had a great meet.
Yeah,
so
you never know.
So, but with my program right now, so I'm on week 2 now. So I got about 10 or 11 weeks before IPL Worlds. That's if everything goes smoothly the next few weeks and I recover with my back and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'm doing like day 1's high bar squat, then bench press touch and go, and then bent over rows, and then it's 4x8, 4x8, 4x12. Day 2 would be deadlift, and either close grip bench or incline bench, and then 1-arm rows. Day 3 would be high bar squat, good morning, and then day 4 is deficits, pause bench, barbell curls. Everything for the rep scheme is like 4x12s, 4x12s, 4x8, 3x15, 4x5. 4x5 is the pause bench, and that 3x15 is the accessory stuff, the barbell curls. And it progresses as, this is set up as reps in reserve, and it progresses on the weight with that. If I fail it, the weight doesn't change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I fail it miserably, I'll take the weight will get dropped back, and then we start progressing from there. Since my back's been bothering me, we're gonna do like I'm gonna squat to where my pain threshold might be at like a 3 with the weight, which I still have to figure out, and then go from there. Instead of having my pain threshold at like a 6 or 7 while lifting, it's just gonna cause more damage. You know what I mean? So but I give my updates every week, and then it gets updated, and we have a conversation about through email about what's going on with me and what we can probably adapt, and I just throw ideas out. You know what I mean? Like I've changed a lot on how I lift since I've been working with Joey. So it's and plus I had hand surgery.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even hold the bar. I was doing pinky under the bar because my shoulder mobility was terrible. I couldn't get under, and it was low bar. And now I'm doing high bar, and instead of having my pinkies under the bar out here, I'm here, and my super tight.
Very different.
Yeah, very different. And I went from an Addy Power heel height, which I think is 70.75 or something like that.
Something like that.
Nice
I'm not sure.
70, yeah, that.
Yeah, something like that.
I went down to the the Powerlift width, which I think is around.
Is it half or
I
a
think
quarter?
it's 60. I think it's
a little less.
Yeah, it's a little less. It's between the flat and
and like
the high heel. Because I kept on getting pushed over. Plus my core, that has to do with my core also. You know what I mean? You have a strong core, you're less likely to get pushed over, and you can push back.
That's everything.
And we've incorporated a lot of. At one point it was tons of front squats. It's, it's just terrible.
You brought up a good point. Like things definitely change over time. Like so, when I start working with someone, they'll send me a questionnaire, and I get a little more background on them, and I'll adjust programming based off that. But not a ton's changing at first, and then as you go on, it's crazy. Like a 6-month period, how much things change for a specific person. It's like, I'm sure, since you started with your coach, I relate it, it's almost football season, so I relate it like a good QB getting used to his new wide receiver. You know what I mean? The more they're together, the better they're going to become together. But you got to spend that time running routes, doing all that, making adjustments. So I'm sure, like, from when you started with your coach, now you made a lot of adjustments. You guys are more comfortable together. He understands you more. You understand where he's coming from. Right? When you say that relationship's kind of grown as well.
Yeah, without a doubt. Mm-hmm. Just online, and I went to Bali to his cousin's wedding.
Oh, awesome.
So I got to meet him in person there because I haven't met him before. But yeah, no, your relationship grows with your coach if you have a good coach and you're not a scumbag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can't tell your coach, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing all the time. There comes a time, place when you're like, I can't do this right now. So we need to switch something off because this is just, it's murdering me, or this isn't working out. You have to have an open line of communication.
The communication is key.
That's with any relationship. You need an open line of communication, and you should have honesty in there. Because if you're not doing what the program prescribes, and then you're telling your coach you're doing it, one, you're only hurting yourself, and he's wasting his time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're wasting your money.
Yeah.
But yeah, from beginning till now, little things over time with training differences is what's made me become a better lifter. I feel like I'm a better lifter. I've lost a lot of weight. I feel better at this weight too. I've had a lot of things changed in the past year and a half in my life. So, with that being said, it's just there's a progression over time. You know,
it just takes time.
If you made a timeline of when you first started lifting to now, and you had a list of all your cues, what you thought then to what you're doing now, it's gonna be like night. It'll be night and day,
ain't it?
Yeah,
like even now, like I'll look at myself in 2 years and be like, "What the hell was I doing?"
I look at shit from last year. It's just
I mean, just even last year, I'm like, "Wow, I should have maybe done this differently, that differently." It's you know now you're gonna be calling yourself a dummy. 2 years from now, you're gonna be calling yourself a dummy.
You could, a little retarded.
So I want to jump into that meet that we were mentioning where you made that huge weight cut. So that was Christmas Carnage RPS.
I was just wearing that shirt yesterday.
Yeah, that was December 2016. And man, I remember that meet. I cut 27 pounds. You did like 30, something like that. And
I went from
kind of rough shape.
My top weight was, I think it was 194. And then I went down, I hit like 164 point something for that meet.
Yeah, I remember walking into the venue for the first time to weigh in. Luckily, I hit it on the dot. I dropped my spit cup. I was spitting the whole ride to Pennsylvania 3 hours. I dropped my spit cup all over the car. So I was right prior to that. Walk right in. I see you come in. I mean, wait, you come in. Your face is all shrunken. You're looking like
Skeletor.
Yeah, you don't know
like
Skeletor.
You literally look like.
Yeah.
You look like you're up for 3 days.
Yeah.
In some crack house.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You look awful. You look completely emaciated because you are.
You don't know. You look like a totally different person. Is how you look when you lose 30 pounds like that. And we're talking 2-week period almost like that.
Oh yeah, you start.
Slowly
Well, I did the water loading. You started 2 weeks out. Water loading, sodium loading.
So let's just jump into it. How do you go about losing your 30 pounds? How did you go about doing that?
I did everything I could.
Like, what's the process through nutrition, and then you're cutting your water out, and what's that process like for you? And when do you start that?
For that one, I just started eating pretty much all protein, cut out all carbs, and just constantly drinking water and adding sodium. What I did was I figured out how much sodium I intake on my regular diet and what I was eating, because I was eating whatever I wanted then. And so say I normally took in 4 grams of salt a day from I would add 5 grams on top of that. And then when I started cutting out the food that I got that other 4 grams from, I'd start adding it in.
Yeah.
So you keep the same sodium level. And
regulate.
When you start tricking your body starts tricking your body to retain more water, and then once you cut that salt out and you start lowering that water, that's when I can't remember the name of the hormone. The hormone in the body says, "Well, you have way too much water going on. What's going on?" So you just start pissing it out, sweating it out. With that, sauna suit and a sauna, which I don't do anymore. It takes a lot out of you. It's very rough. It's very
sounds absolutely miserable.
It's that's not even the worst part yet. It gets very mentally demanding. And if you can't fight through that mental part, you're not gonna make weight.
Some of the worst experiences.
Yeah, and then so I did that, and when I couldn't handle that anymore, I started sitting in a hot tub at a commercial gym. And then after that, put the sauna suit back on in the car ride there, and the last effort I did hot baths, and I got in the hot bath and the weight started coming off again. This was over, I think, I'm gonna have to say between 24 and 36 hour period is when I dropped all the weight. It was miserable. I don't suggest it to anyone because it was terrible. But yeah, that's how I did that. And then I still had a meet PR and everything, but it was very small meet PRs. The numbers I was hitting in the gym were completely better than the numbers I hit in comp, and it just showed me that I personally can't do that and have a successful meet. And it was miserable for me and my wife and everybody around me, because when I cut that much weight, I became irrational, irritated, angry.
Yeah, you get very irritated very quick.
Hungry.
It's normal.
Yeah, and then the closest person to you, which was my wife,
down,
whoever else is there, and you're just a complete asshole.
Yeah,
you know.
My process, usually 2 weeks out, like you said, regulating water, sodium, and then slowly as the week goes on, my thing is I'll cut out the sodium, water slowly, and then I'm really only eating no carbs. It's just steak and onions pretty much for me because that's what I enjoy. And then
I could tell.
As you get closer to the meat, like you said, within that like 24, 36 hour period, that's when you've already lost a good amount by then, just from your sodium manipulation, your water, because you're stopping yourself from retaining water, and now you got to actually sweat the rest out.
Yeah,
so that's when you hit the sauna and whatnot, and that is some mental toughness. That is really tough. If anyone wants to see that protocol, I do have that available. So if you want to reach out, email, I can send it to you. But I don't recommend cutting that amount of weight unless you're very seasoned, know what you're doing.
There's no strings attached to the water-loaded protocol.
That is not something you want to just do.
Yeah.
It's going to be very mentally draining, and like you said, everyone around you is because you can't, like, you can tell yourself to be nice, but you're not going to be nice to people.
You might.
You're like,
it's like if you got too drunk and you said something you shouldn't have said. That's kind of exactly how it is when you're cutting weight, or if you're dieting
feel
hard.
Like dying, like you just want to drink anything. I want to drink a shampoo bottle. I look at the shampoo and I was like, I can get away with it.
Well, that's the worst. That's the worst when you go to the store to get all the stuff you need for the meat. Whatever you hydrate with, or whatever you like to eat, snack on, and you're buying it at the store and you're still cutting weight, and you're like, fuck me.
Oh, when you're at the store buying stuff, you gotta buy that weight early. Yeah, it's not good.
But I don't do the sauna anymore. What I just do all hot baths, and I'll still add soda. And I drink a lot of water now anyway, so it's just been easier doing the hot baths. Plus, you're comfortable in your either house or your hotel room, and you're not around all these dirty old naked sweaty men.
Yeah, it's true. There was a guy that came in last cut. He had perfume on. And some dude with perfume, and he just totally ruined. I had to leave. Luckily, I was right where I needed to be, but I had to leave. I was going to throw up.
Was it Brute or Old Spice?
It was, I don't know what he had on, but it was a combo.
If you had perfume on, what type of sauna were you in?
Perfume. I don't know. This dude, I don't know. I guess I was in the wrong gym. He caught me.
You're in the wrong gym.
That was one of my top 5 tightest dudes.
Did you sneak into curves?
I don't know where I was. Listen, I cut weight.
So since we're probably going to get a question about this, what do you think is a reasonable weight to cut? Because obviously, 25, 30 pounds seems ridiculous.
I think if you've never done a weight cut, you shouldn't do weight cut for your first meet or two.
Not worth unless you
qualifying. Unless if you're some type of freak that just walks into the gym and is pulling or lifting 10 times body weight because you're a freak. I'd get your foot. I'd get some foot into the powerlifting and before you start doing it. I cut weight for wrestling, so I was cutting weight for my first meet anyway because that's what I wanted to do.
I tell people all the time, unless you going for a big qualification meet, you're doing an Arnie, or you're going for like some kind of big record, not a Fed record. Then it's not worth it. Like, you're not gonna, down the road, you're not gonna remember what weight you hit those lifts at. You're gonna remember you hit those lifts for the most part. So cutting weight is not an experience you want to go to. You're probably not gonna have your best meet, especially the first time you do it. I bombed the first time I did a 27-pound weight cut. I didn't know what the hell my body's gonna do. I never did it before. My shirt didn't fit at all. So
I don't do geared lifting, and I've gotten to a shirt once and we were fucking around. And if you cut a lot of weight and you don't hydrate back, your shit isn't gonna fit. So you're not even gonna. That's already like a huge thing against you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's even more variables.
Yeah. So it's
I bombed that meet. Learned to tighten up my suit. Even if it's tight now, then we gotta make it tighter.
You know, do some Kegel exercises. Get tight. Oh, man.
So I have a couple questions left for you. Just starting to round out. Why powerlifting? Like, why not some other sport? Is it just kind of you fell into that progression of lifting heavy shit? And it was like, this is powerlifting? The strongman, the CrossFit. CrossFit's really big now.
Strongman, yeah, right. I probably couldn't even get the first Atlas stone up onto that box that they do.
Neither could I.
You know what I mean? Like, I need a ladder.
So was it someone that told you about powerlifting, and then you were like, all right, I'm going to do that? Because there's a lot of different strength sports out there.
Well, I was. That's kind of what I was doing. I was in the gym, and I was just like looking at, I don't know, random stuff on the internet, and this is what powerlifting is. And I mentioned it to someone, and they're like, oh, well, you know, why don't you go over here, you know, blah, blah. And then I asked somebody else that I knew on the internet that was doing powerlifting, like, and they suggested places I go check out and whatnot. And I think I just had stuff in life going on, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to go and powerlift. This is what I want to do. I want to do this now.
You just took to it, right?
Yeah, and I just took to it, and I feel good. You know what I mean? Like, when I lift, when I go to a meet, I get a mental high, like a rush, you know, and
nice feeling.
It is a good feeling, you know what I mean? And it's good. I don't know. I can't really describe it. You have to do it. You have to do it to understand it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a reward. It's a
yeah.
reward. All your hard work pays off. You gotta, if the more you earn something, the better the payoff. And
yeah.
you earn it every time you try.
Yeah, it's the same thing as if you're figuring something out, either if you work at a desk and you're figuring out something on a computer, if you work with computers, or if you build stuff, or you get a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
And then when your adrenaline is going, it's just everything's heightened. You know, it's a rush.
A different experience unless you kind of did it. You don't really know what it's like yet. But more reason to jump into your first meet and try it out. What's your favorite lift? So we're talking squat, bench, deadlift.
I know what my favorite.
If you had to do
listen,
one.
I don't like doing it. It's not.
Is that the squat, bench, deadlift?
Well, I hate front squatting. That's for damn sure.
Okay.
Because it's just terrible.
What's your favorite? What do you look forward to right now? I know it kind of changes over time depending on which one's progressing and whatnot. What are you looking forward to right now?
I guess it's gonna have to say the deadlift because I'm only 2 pounds off. I'm
best,
2
right?
pounds off my all-time best at a lower weight class.
Yeah.
I really want to break that 575. You know what I mean? My squat needs a lot of work, so I need to work more on my squat. You know what I mean? And whatever you're not good at, you should be working on more. And I feel like you don't want to not invest in all of it. You know, if you're only doing benching, that's all you're doing is benching.
Called you out.
You know? No, I'm not really calling him out. But that's what he does. That's all he does is bench. Do the other lifts incorporate into that? Yeah. But not so much as you have
to have your goal, and then
you have to have your goal
your
and
training
then set it.
surrounds your
So my goal is to have the highest total possible. So I have to do all 3 lifts. If you want the biggest bench, you have to bench a lot. Like you're benching more. If you're just a bencher, you're benching more than anything else. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're doing.
Squat and deadlift could potentially take away from your ability to recover. It's all kind of
having your training specific to your goal.
Yeah, exactly. So I want the biggest total I could possibly get.
So you have to.
So I have to
finagle that puzzle piece.
Everything. Yep. Yeah. So.
So you look forward
right
to doing
now
everything. Deadlift right now is on your.
It changes
your
by
list.
day because if I have a shitty day at work, I go there and go, this sucks, but I force myself to do it anyway. You know, kind of gotta push through your own mental barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Like it sounds like front squats suck, but they're gonna make your lifts better, and that's like how you're kind of.
Well, when you're only front squatting 135, and then you're like, how much do I bench more than this? And you're like, oh, this sucks. I'm bent. So
I was just over at your garage gym. I love garage gyms. I love seeing all my my lifters online who have cool little setups. I love what goes into building your own little garage gym. When'd you start that? What pieces of equipment did you invest in first? Kind of take us through that progression of building it.
The progression of building it came because I had my working with the new coach. My program was simplified to what I could do at a commercial gym. Not all commercial gyms have quality bars, and the plates are always hex, and that's always that's a problem with deadlifting. The bench heights are never comp bench heights.
See, we're like building my own.
The gym I was going to had two heights for the bench, and
nothing you can do.
It's either I'm starting here or I'm starting up here.
Yeah.
And then just commuting from.
And who chooses those two heights? They're like the worst two heights ever.
I don't know.
They're the worst two heights ever for everyone.
I've never seen them a perfect height for anybody.
No, just switch the heights. There's something with the height. Or just make more hooks.
Just don't suck.
It got to the point where I remember what it was like when I first started lifting in gym, and I was going there to get my own head, for my own mental therapy, my own physical mental high from lifting, and it just seemed what's the word? Strategic? I don't know. For me to train in my parents' garage because it's never closed. You know what I mean? Like I can go, I can lift at the gym whenever I wanted, and working all weird sorts of hours. How am I going to go to a commercial gym when it's closed and then try to get enough sleep? It just made more sense. So I invested I ran up a credit card.
So what's your first purchase? Let's break it down.
I started purchasing a lot of stuff.
So you do a little bulk purchase. You gotta I'll get the
mats.
Floor mats.
Yeah, the mats. You need mats because you'll destroy the concrete, you destroy the equipment that you're using.
So what'd you get? What'd you end up getting for floor mats?
I got 4x6 horse stall mats.
You got you got like a little iron looking outline on them too. Like that grid, that iron.
That was an option.
That was cool.
They just came like that.
Oh,
so
horses don't do that. They don't walk on.
I got them. I got them. I think on Amazon.
Okay.
And because if you look up a 4x6 gym flooring mat, and then you look up a 4x6 horse stall mat from like a horse supply dealership or whatever.
Goodness, outrageous.
Just because it says gym, the price is so much more.
It's like double. It's like crazy.
So I got the mats, and then I ordered a Texas Strength Systems power bar, and
when you got mats, you got a bar.
Yeah, and then I started researching on where I could get plates from. There was some guy on Craigslist in Queens that has a whole garage of all sorts of shit. And I actually went out there with Jose, and then we actually got barbecue after, which is a really good spot. Can't remember.
If you're going out there,
good.
You might as well, right?
Yeah, screw it, let's go buy. Yeah. So I got some bumper plates and some quarters and tens and stuff. And then somebody's like, well, why don't you go look on Amazon? And then I ordered 1045s on Amazon.
Yeah.
And
so now you have gym flooring.
Yeah, and then I had to figure out.
You need something to bench on.
I had to figure out how to squat and bench, and I got somebody I know was throwing out like a Gold's Gym squat uprights for rack and whatever, and that height was not the height that I need to adjust it to, and it wasn't working out. So I said, "Fuck it, I have a credit card," and I went on to the elite FTS website, and they had a combo squat bench rack, and I also looked at TSS, and I also asked another company that's in California, and the wait time they had back orders, and they're building them, and Elite had a rack. Ready to go, right? Ready to go. So it took a couple weeks to get there. Mm-hmm. And then
that's a good investment because that's going to cover your squats, your bench.
Yeah. And
then deadlifts off the floor.
So yeah, exactly.
There you go, everything you need.
And then I wound up that bar that I bought. It was a snowstorm, and UPS couldn't find it.
Or couldn't find the bar.
They couldn't find the house. They didn't know where the bar was.
Well, that's not good.
That's a big package to lose.
They took it off a truck and they put it somewhere, and they said, they're going to get it to me or whatever, and I was like, okay, so now what the fuck do I do? So I ordered a Titex Power Bar, which is my favorite bar. I love that bar.
Yeah.
And
That's
it was.
what they use
I think it was at my house in
IPF?
like. I think it was at my house in like 4 days.
The bar, yeah.
Yeah. So I started, and anyway, and then I bought these little wedge things to go under the. I don't know. You need a lot of little. There's a lot of little things that makes your life easier. And then I went buying a deadlift jack, from I think from Rogue, and.
So you started with your core stuff, and now you're slowly adding to.
Yeah,
it.
you
That's how
really.
it goes.
Even if you just have a little space just to deadlift in your house, it's going to save you a lot of time from commuting to and from the gym.
We'll let you take care of one lift right there.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I always feel it's nicer to lift in your own surroundings, because if you need to go take a dump, you go take a dump in your own bathroom.
That's a very important thing.
It is. It is.
And eating the burritos that you eat.
Yeah, your bowel movements are very important, especially when you're lifting, because when I'm squatting, all of a sudden I'm like, should I even squat this one, or am I going to shit my pants? I think bathroom's 10 feet away. Let's just go. Now, if I was at a commercial gym and it's 50 feet away, 50 feet's a long way.
Yeah, now you're walking more. Is that cardio going to affect your training?
Well, that's how you stay tight. That's how you stay tight. You push the envelope, or you don't push the envelope, and
So you risk it sometimes.
You wander
through sometimes you risk
the
it.
locker room with old guys with their balls hanging out.
Yeah. Oh, every time. They're doing the Captain Morgan pose. Right, you walk in and you're like...
Looking around at you.
Yeah, like staring straight up. This guy's balls on the floor. And you actually walk into the wrong locker room. I've done that once, because the gym I was at, if you go to another one, the bathroom was switched, and I just walked in and I was like, turn right around. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, mine kind of started the same way. You get the flooring, you get your basic stuff. My dad had a lot of stuff from back in the day. This is all old here. With the power rack, and do a lot of that. And then this is actually Texas Strength Systems too. This bench we're sitting on doing this podcast. Really nice little comp bench setup, because if you're going to focus on bench, you have a comp bench. So that's what I did, and just kind of started gathering stuff as we went. So that's how that came about. So I want to start rounding it out with you here. I know you got stuff to do, and I want to ask you, what's next? What's next on your agenda? What's the next meet? You were saying you got a IPL Worlds?
Yeah, IPL Worlds in Vegas at the Golden Nugget.
That should be a good one.
Yeah.
Out in Vegas.
I'd like to do my very best. I'd like to even just show up, because it depends on how I'm feeling, and if I'm not feeling good in a few weeks, I'm probably just going to not do it. What
numbers are you shooting for?
I really just want to beat anything from the previous, not the bomb out meet, but obviously,
the
9 for 9 meet. Even if it's just by 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Just moving forward little by little is always positive. And you have setbacks. It is what it is. I'd like to pull over 580 for my next comp.
That'd be great.
I'd like to squat over 485 in reps, and I'd like to hit like a 330 bench. I knit from going from 165 down, and then losing a lot of weight. My lifts change. Definitely can squat and bench, but my deadlift is shot up, back up to where it was. And I'm also trying to lower my body weight down, so I don't have to do such big cuts.
So what total would you be hoping to get at what body weight at this meet?
Since I can't add and need a calculator for everything, what would that come out to? Say it's 485 plus 330 plus, say, 580? 1395.
So you're pushing 1400.
Yeah, so 1400. So, yeah, that's closer and closer to 10 times body weight. I'd like to have,
that's a great
1480
great total
at some point, but that's going to take, years.
Yeah. Well, at least you got the mindset. That's going to be a while, and you're ready to put in that work.
Yeah, I don't plan on not powerlifting ever, but we could leave here and get hit by a bus, and then
unfortunate. Then I guess
I have to figure out what sport I could. Yeah, exactly. Then I just bench over.
Then you come over.
Figure out something else to do.
Yeah. So where can everyone find you on Instagram and whatnot?
Shawnee Fagan. SEANYFAGAN. If I'm not posting videos of lifting, I'm posting videos of my cats.
Or the mankini.
Yeah, I don't know, the mankini.
You never know when his balls are swinging.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, you can catch this also on YouTube if you're listening. If you listen on iTunes, please leave your 5-star review. Just give us a little feedback on the podcast. And you know where to find Elvis at Small Arm Leg Strong.
It's actually going to start to post.
He doesn't post anything.
It's happening.
And then, you know,
emergence.
You can find us Instagram at Big Benchas and you know, Twitter and all that. So thanks for listening, guys. This has been the 21st or 2nd episode of the BenchCast.
Keep it tight.